Hi everyone, Charlie Veitch here. I've given myself a haircut. It was getting a bit long, and even though I was very honest that it was long to hide the bald, it was poking through. So as you can see, I guess I got to act my age now. I'm not like that kind of long-haired guy. Just wanted to share with you a story. I was angry. I'm just sad now. As a dad or as a parent, mums can watch this and understand. You know when you're just frayed around the edges, the baby shat himself, he's screaming, he's crying, the kids are like, daddy, 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 can we get this? And it just, you reach fever pitch, you change the kid's nappy in the Asda toilets, you get everything up to a good standard, the baby is screaming for milk. So here's what I did at the Asda supermarket in Swinton, Greater Manchester. They know me there. I'm a great customer. I'm in there almost every day. You know, family with young kids. You got to rush back for stuff. So they know me. They all know me. They all know me as the birth face guy, you know, the tall guy with a Canadian accent who doesn't wear the face mask. So I go in and they all love the baby as well. They're, oh, coochie, coochie, coo. So which makes this story even more shocking. So I'm like, temper's frayed, you know, it's like everything's like come to a head. I was like, there's a microwave. So I get the baby's bottle, the milk bottle sorted out, get it nice and warm, sit down. So I sit down with the 3 children that I have at a table, 8-year-old, 6-year-old, 1-year-old, get the 1-year-old into my lap and I'm feeding him his baby bottle and goo goo gaga, everyone's happy. So within seconds, an Asda staff member comes running over and goes, look, you're not meant to... And what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to relay this to you as accurately as I can without exaggeration, without hyperbole, without drama. She comes over and she says, oh, you're not meant to sit at that table. There's rules and stuff and, you know, coronavirus. And I said, oh, you know, I'm just feeding the baby. We'll be done in 2 minutes. I know, I understand. Like, I'm just literally feeding a baby. Now, in the previous normal world, a baby is sacred. It kind of trumps everything. It's like the kind of, you know, it's the biggest get out of jail free card. Oh, baby, okay, sorry, take your time. Baby, no one's going to mess with a baby. So I relayed this to her. I said, look, I know, I think I said 5 minutes. I said, look, I'll be 5 minutes, we'll be out of here. The cafe wasn't busy. There was a few free tables. So I thought, I know we're in the brave new normal. I know we're in this thing. I thought, come on, they know me here. I'll sit down. And so I say, I'll be 5 minutes. And she goes, no, I'm sorry. I cannot let you sit there without doing the track and trace. You got to do that. And I'm like literally holding a baby. Isaac's a big 1-year-old with a bottle in his mouth. And I said, look, I can't. By the time I finish feeding him, I'll be leaving. I'm not going to do track and trace. I said, come on, it's a baby. Like, you know me. I'm a good customer. I'm in here all the time. I don't want to make a scene. And Maya and Leo, the 6-year-old and the 8-year-old, are getting embarrassed. They're like this. They cannot understand why these little commissars, these apparatchiks, are trying to do this. So after about 20 seconds of this back and forth, I lost my temper and I didn't raise my voice. I just said to her, look, I'm sorry, I've had enough. Go do what you need to do. Go escalate it. Go speak to the management. Go get whatever you need to do, but I've had enough. I'm feeding my baby. And she's like, oh, I will do. And she goes to me like, I will do. And she storms off. I was expecting the manager of Asda, or the deputy manager of the big supermarket, to come over. And, you know, management, they're a bit more trained in the arts of corporate seduction. So I thought the manager would come over, see that a baby was involved, see that the baby bottle, the milk was going down. And so any rational person, any reasonable person goes, well, this is a problem that's going to solve itself in 3 minutes. She didn't come back with a manager. She came back with another young security officer lady. I don't want to name her, but she was so awful, I will name her. At Asda Swinton. Jane! Me feeding baby! You Jane! Jane, dark hair, Mancunian lady, so, you know, normal, everyday lady. Nothing wrong, nothing about her voice, nothing about the way she looked, but everything about the way she acted. She comes over and they double down. They're like, and I'm still feeding the baby. I know I'm taking my time to tell this story, but bear in mind, this all takes place over 4 minutes. So she comes back with this security lady who's wearing a body camera and it says audio and video. So I said, look guys, have you all lost your minds? I'm feeding a little baby. I'm a good customer here. I'm not going to move. And get this, Jane says to me, well, here's your options. She goes, we're kicking you out. You have to leave now. And I said, before I finish the baby. And she goes, yes. And she goes, or in the gulag, you can stop feeding your baby, pause him, put him in his chair, come and do track and trace. Then you can pick your baby up again and do the last 2 minutes of feeding him. She actually offered me that. I did everything in my power to not scream, fuck you, you fucking Soviet cunt. But I didn't say anything. And Asda, if you're watching this, check your CCTV. I might do a subject access request so that my story can be corroborated, because if I'm lying, you guys can show the other. So Jane, me feeding baby, her Jane, she wasn't going to let it go. I then said to her, look, call the manager. It's all futile. By the time the manager gets here, I'll finish feeding the baby, but I'm not going to just do your track and trace. And then she goes something like, sir, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep you, your baby, and your children safe in this pandemic, and you're not letting me do my job about this. Is very serious. Very serious. So then I said, just get the manager. I'm sorry, you've lost your mind. You've lost your mind. There's a baby I'm feeding. And I said, look, by the time the manager gets here, this is all the time I need, I'll be gone. And she actually comes back to the table and she goes, ow, are you just going to waste our time even more? And I was like, excuse me? I've spent thousands of pounds in this shop. You're speaking to me like this? Anyway, they go and get the manager. Get this, they don't bring a manager. I asked for the manager twice. They bring another security person wearing that weird bib thing with the camera on it. By this time, Isaac has emptied his bottle. So I get up and I'm 6'5". I'm towering over these poor hobbit women, these poor hobbit security women at Asda. And I give them my most sarcastic smile. And I say, look, everybody wins now. Everyone wins. And they storm off. And then Maya and Leo, my kids, they didn't pick up on the sarcasm. They're like, oh, Daddy, that's great. Everybody won in the end. And I'm like, yes, kids, that's great. But I just want to say, jokes aside, the brave new normal is unacceptable. What's happened is that now corporations and governments, legislation and corporation are working together as one perfect fascist state. Perfect fascist state where retail staff can humiliate you publicly for feeding your baby and not doing the governmental things. I tried to explain to Jane. I said, Jane, I know the legislation. I know the Coronavirus Act. I've actually read it. This whole track and trace thing, it's a legal requirement for you to offer it, but not for me to complete it. So, and this is as whole the part of me feeding the baby. Do you know what I felt like? I'm not going to say the word, but the way they treated me, I felt like an N in apartheid South Africa. Or controversial, but I actually did. And I think a lot of people that are out there just trying to live a normal life with their birth face or with babies, with kids, feel the same way. Now, let me reiterate to you the reason why I stopped wearing the face mask completely. I went up to Scotland. Screw the lockdown. I'm going to visit my elderly parents. Sorry. My parents got me into the habit. My mum, very worried. She's in her 70s. My dad is a bit more, c'est la vie. If I die, I die. My mum's very worried about the virus. She's very worried. So out of respect to my mum, I started wearing the mask, going out with them to shops, to bars, restaurants. I wear the mask. And coming back to Manchester, I was in the lift. No, going into the lift. And since the start of the lockdown, Anyone with a buggy, pram with a baby, I say, can I please share the lift? And like, of course, whatever. Even though there's a big sign saying 1 household at a time in the lift. So being, well-versed in the arts of politeness, about 2-3 weeks ago, I came back from Scotland. I was in Asda. There's a young mum, younger than me, a couple of young kids in the pram. And, oh my God, again, I'll tie this into the baby feed story. I say to her, I look her in the eye and say, oh, I'm sorry, can I please share the lift with you? And then I see underneath her face mask this sly smile, and she takes great pleasure. Goes, no, it's 1 household at a time. And when someone is enjoying the power, enjoying the new normal, the new empowerment of the control freaks, of the maniacs. This all ties in with this great reset, guys. I was watching Channel 4 News last night. Just as a correction, I said something outside the Trafford Centre a few weeks ago. Channel 4 News is my favourite news show. No, what I meant was, of the mainstream peasant propaganda feed bags that pump out the information, I prefer watching Channel 4 News because I think it is the avant-garde spear point of this new, crazy, culture-altering madness. Now, watching Channel 4 last night, and they're trying to, like in America, they're trying to bring the race war to Britain as well, and the media are at it, and it all ties in. Brave new normal. The world's a piece of shit now. Everyone's a cunt in the supermarkets, and young people of all colors are convinced, because the way the Channel 4 News edited it, they're convinced that police are not just ordinary, everyday people. They're convinced that the police are Nazis and that there's nothing to be patriotic about in either Britain. Voice is a lot better, Britain or America. I've ranted for 12 minutes. This was meant to be just about the story of Asda. I'm not going to even bother with the complaints. Oh, one last thing as well. I was in the Trafford Centre earlier, and the guy goes, face mask. So I bark back, exempt. And then he comes over to me and he goes, excuse me, if you don't want to be asked by everyone official, you can get a sticker from the customer services desk which says you're exempt. I said, no, dude, I'm not a dog. I'm not wearing the collar. And he was like, whoa. And I think he was a good guy. He just needed to be shown that you can resist this. I have 3 loyalties. My loyalty to my family, to my viewers, and to God. And right now, the social contract has been broken with the British government, and I'm sure wherever you're watching this video in the world, you will also feel that your social contract has been broken. And I've been getting a lot of flack recently for talking about civil war and war. But here's the thing, guys. I read the Gulag Archipelago. I'll be honest, I stopped reading it after 200 pages because it was too harrowing. And trust me, guys, we think it's not going to happen again. You think it's already happening. It's within people's lifetimes. The death camps, the concentration camps, the gulags, the rounding up of a quarter of the population of St. Petersburg to get taken to Siberia. Of course, we're not at that stage, but it's beginning. And I just want all my viewers to know that my eyes are wide open. And when I say civil war, it's because obviously it's liberty or death. I'm not going to get humiliated anymore. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to follow arbitrary rules that demoralize me and dehumanize me. So if we're going to fight, we're going to fight. And I know it's a bit dramatic. People writing to me worried. But look, the government needs to know that we're not sheep. We're not cattle. We're actually, every single human being is descended from the winning tribe. All that warfare, all the way back to single-celled organisms. You won. You've got that power, that rage in your soul. And stick with what's right. Stick with what's right for your kids. And stick with what's right with God. And I say God, the metaphorical God. A lot of you get worried. Religion. No, the idea, the concept, the totality. 15 minutes is enough. Thank you very much for watching. There's so much more to be said, but thank you very much.